So when you hire an attorney for your divorce case, what we are going to do is we're going to be working very closely with you, and we're going to be working very closely with your legal team. That would be your paralegal, your case manager, maybe a guardian ad litem, maybe a financial expert, maybe a vocational expert. We're going to be working as a team very close with you to understand who you are as a person, how your family has operated and existed in the past, how you would like your life to look in the future, how you would like your children's lives to look like in the future. And that could be everything from financial resources to parenting to schooling to college to whatever you can imagine about your children and your family. We're going to want to know from you what that is. And so my job is to learn as much as I can about you as a person, as much as I can about the facts of your situation, so that I can have a smart, intelligent conversation with you about what your divorce might look like. What are the things that you're likely going to succeed on, and those things that might be a little bit iffy, and those things that you're probably not going to succeed on, so that you have a realistic idea about what your divorce is going to look like and what it's going to look like at the finish line. That's my job as your attorney. Also, once I have all of that information, part of my job is to negotiate with your spouse or your spouse's counsel to try and work out a reasonable settlement that works for you and works for your spouse. If you have an attorney today who you don't feel is doing all those things, and we hear from people like that all the time, you likely have a right to find a new attorney and start working with somebody who's going to do all those things for you.
And I think it's really important that the attorney that you work with have a great legal team as well. I mean, obviously the role of the attorney is very important. You're going to be the one at the mediation and at hearings and trial and things like that. But what most people don't realize as well is how much the legal team that works with you will work with the client. So from the very beginning of the case, after the consultation is completed and they've signed the representation agreement and become a client, your legal team kind of takes that over. As a case manager, I'm looking at the case, I'm seeing what's next, we're figuring out mandatory disclosure and parenting classes and all those finite details in between the start of the case and mediation that have to be done. If you go to mediation, the case doesn't settle, and then we have to go to trial. The legal team is, we're behind the scenes working very hard, preparing that evidence, gathering information from clients, assisting the attorneys and making sure that we set you up for success and set the client up for success when we have to do things like go to major hearings or trials. So be nice to your legal teams because they're working just as hard as your attorney is.
Absolutely.